Text functions can be very useful when you're importing data or transforming data into a different format that you'll be able to work with. Here, I refer to a string, which is just a series of numbers or letters or symbols that in essence are just a value. An example of a string is 1980. Just a collection of letters, numbers, symbols, that sort of thing. It's going to be useful to use these text functions when you're importing or transforming your data, or if you get given data and you want to turn it into a more usable format. So let's just go through them one by one. We've got eight to look at. Length, or len, is going to tell you the number of characters in a cell. Let's just use them as we go. For this one, we're going to see 8 characters long. It's useful when you want to retrieve the total number of characters, and you can use that number in other functions. Substitute. This replaces part of a string with a new string. So if we want to change Jane to John, let's just try that out. Substitute in this cell, P6. Let's go Jane, in quotation marks, John. John 1980. This is useful when you want to just transform a part of your data easily. Proper is going to capitalize each word. So if we had something with multiple words in it, like this is text, there may be times if that was name data that we wanted to make it all capital, or regional, the name of a city, for example. Let's just use it proper, and we should see it all capitalized. And that's useful if you're using name data or something like that. Trim. This removes spaces, except for single spaces between words. So sometimes when you import data, let's just add it here. Imported data can come with spaces at the start and spaces at the end sometimes, because it's just read wrong when copy and pasted. So it's barely noticeable, and it can be troublesome to go and remove it manually. So if you ever pick up on that and see that your data has unnecessary spaces, you can just use trim. And that's going to get rid of those spaces. So that value no longer has spaces. You can just copy and paste that as a value. So I'll bring that up. You can paste that as a value, and there's no more spaces at the end or at the start. Find. Find is going to find. This is where the functions become interesting, and you can kind of use them together. This will find where a string begins, what position. So let's say we've got Jane 1980, and I want to manipulate that. But I don't want to manipulate the first part. I just want to manipulate the numbers. I can use find to look for 1. Find where that 1 is. Here. Because we have those spaces, I forgot. Let's get rid of those spaces. 5. So 1 is not J, A, N, or E. It's the 5th one. And we'll use that in a second to split our string using that information. And this can be useful if there's a dash or a full stop in all of your data and you want to kind of locate it in each individual situation. Now, right and left will return only part of the string. So let's go, if I just want to see Jane, we'll go left and just bring me back the 4 characters on the left. And we'll do right. Bring me back the 4 characters on the right. And that's where this comes in. We could use this find function along with these other functions to split our data appropriately. Let's do an example of that. So if I take this source data, let's just use it with left. Okay, this is easy. This is the text we're going to use. Number of characters. Well, I know that the first number, the number appeared at 5. But that includes that number. So I'm just going to minus 1 from that to get before that number. Now that should bring us just Jane. So that's how you can use the left function
and the find function. So P10, which is just this cell, is actually just the function find me the letter 1. So I'll go ahead and replace the P10 to show you how it's two functions in one. And take out the equal sign. So left, Jane 1980. How many characters on the left should we take? Well, we're going to find where the 1 is, and we're just going to take away 1 from that. And there we go. The text function, when Excel can sometimes apply the wrong formatting, will convert a string into a text value if Excel thinks you're giving it something that's not text values. And then value can be used to convert a string to a number. So if for some reason you've typed in 1980, but Excel thinks it's not a number, you can use value to show Excel that it is a number. And you'd use text to show Excel that something's just text.